Is this it for Cordae? All right, let's get into this. Welcome to my opinion, not yours. All right, this is a special edition. This is a Rex Reviews edition. I'm going to be reviewing albums and giving my opinion. And if you didn't know, Cordae, formerly known as YBN Cordae, recently dropped his sophomore album. I think it's titled From a Bird's Eye's View. It's following his debut album, Lost Boy. This is what we're going to talk about today. Is this it for Cordae? Because it seems like he's hit the sophomore slump. And I could kind of understand why. This is why I say this. Aside from the fact that he went from selling 25K in his debut album to 20K in his sophomore album, both two are kind of subpar, but it's more understandable when it's his debut album. This one's just showing lack of growth. The thing is, I really liked his first album, Lost Boy. But I think the reason why I liked it because it showed so much potential. I was thinking like, damn, at this level, like, I feel like I could see him growing into like one of the greats. Like, you know, we've been waiting to see like one of the like Kendrick's, Cole's, another one of those type artists like come back out of the new generation. You know what I mean? I feel like on his last album, it felt a lot more relatable because Lost Boy, it had a lot more family issues that felt like it could be relatable to a lot of people. His college struggle for an introduction album, it felt very fitting. Now, for the sophomore album, I feel like it's a different challenge. And that isn't even to mention that his last album, his first album, was Grammy nominated. So that's a big success to try and follow up to. And for your sophomore album, I feel like people don't mention that one of the biggest struggles is most people just end up rapping about how, oh, I was broke. Now I have money. And how much times have we heard that story? So, like, it's really hard to go off those themes for your sophomore album and make it entertaining. The main thing we were banking on with him was his potential. So hearing that as a debut album, we heard the potential of where he could be, and we're like, damn, especially compared to his contemporaries, we're like, he's light years ahead of these niggas. So, but then that's where the problems kind of occurred because I felt like it might have went to his head a little bit. Like maybe the same thing with Roddy Ricch, you know what I'm saying? Because in between the albums, he got co-signs by Dr. Dre and like by a bunch of big legendary niggas and shit like that, and it seemed like he's on his way. And like I get it. Like this man has Naomi Osaka's rich ass playing tennis with his balls all day. So like I get why he would be not completely invested in music, I guess, because he didn't really feed us in between the album. And like he gave us one little EP that I guess like, you know, I think the EP actually might have been better than the project if I have to keep it real. But he gave us that in between the project. And I haven't really seen his name in the news cycle outside of him dropping the YBN from his name. And that comes with, I think that there's pros and cons with that, okay? I think that he did not fit that YBN brand at all, so I'm happy that he's leaving, that he left. But at the same time, I feel like they kind of had the youth behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like YBN Namir and YBN Almighty J have more of a youthful audience behind them, while YBN Cordae, what he's garnering now with his style, I think it caters more to an older audience. I hear more old heads talking about how they respect them. Or not really old heads, more like not the modern audience, more like classic hip hop fans. Really more talk about Cordae, but I don't really think that they represent the majority of hip hop right now. All right, so I'm going to give you my actual thoughts on the album because I actually really like the album. I think it's a really good album. I think that has good substance. One of my favorite things about the album is the album length. It's like 10 songs with like 2 bonuses, 12 songs. That's like how albums used to be for me. Like, you know, I love the album length. I could get through it. And it didn't feel like these 20-song albums that you're just picking out your favorite song like it's your playlist and you don't have to listen to it cohesively without getting bored and falling asleep in 2 seconds. I feel like the production was great. Amazing production. And you got to expect it with all the cosigns you've been getting with all these industry guys. So like his production was on point. So I think that the album was actually a really good album. My favorite songs on the album, I think Chronicles with Lil Durk and Her, I feel like that was a really good song. Cordae's singing on it. He's singing his ass off, and I feel like, you know, he's doing a really good job that, like, he should really dive into melodies more if you have a voice like that. You shouldn't stick to such contemporary boom bap style if you're able to go more melodic with it. And I liked Mama's Hood. I like that story. I like that. That gave me, like, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City vibes. I like that song. And there's a lot of, like, there's no songs that I could say are terrible on the album. I could give you that. But my critiques for the album is he really needs a hit. And I don't think that he's anywhere close to finding one. I feel like Chronicles is kind of close, but that's not a hit. you know, this is a good song and I feel like it'll do the best out of the album. And you're collabing with one of the most popular artists right now, Lil Durk, and her is an industry favorite. So it's like, I feel like he really needs an actual hit. Do I think he's able to produce a hit? I don't know. Like, one thing about him is I don't think he does well on these new school trap beats. On like modern beats, I don't feel like he's able to make like a banger. Something like Super Gremlin, how that makes you feel, like that feeling, or even like anything, how Cardi B could make a Bodak Yellow, or like something with a hard, heavy trap beat that's just like hard. I don't know if Cordae can give you that. Like, even we have to compare him to someone who's more lyrical, like Joyner Lucas. I feel like Joyner Lucas, he drops songs that are hard. Even if it's not a hit, those songs are hard. He's able to really go lyrical on some of these trap beats in a way where Cordae just doesn't seem to give you the same feeling. Like, I don't know if he's able to do that. For example, look at the Gunna song. You got Gunna, he dropped the album the same time as you, that went like quadruple times your album. And like his feature, that had the star beside it on Apple Music. And I didn't really like the song. I felt like Cordae was kind of like, you know, the song felt redundant. It was kind of boring. Gunna did better than Cordae on the song. I felt like the floor was time today. Like, nah, that was redundant just the whole time, and like I didn't really like it. Bass heavy, and it felt like a reach, and I just don't feel like he knows how to go on songs like that and make it sound natural flow wise. It always sounds like a reach. One thing about the album, it feels like a lot of things he's saying, it sounds like things that's been said before. It doesn't completely sound original, and that's where I feel like the J. Cole comparisons come in, because I don't necessarily think that I could compare him to J. Cole. I think J. Cole's light years ahead of him, but where I think the comparison is coming in is because it's a lack of originality, because he sounds like the template for an average artist who sounds like they're saying a lot of deep shit, but the shit that he's saying doesn't really sound original or authentic to him. Also, the theme of this album is about his brother. Well, it seems to be about his brother, who's not really his brother, I guess, according to the Breakfast Club interview. But like, yeah, his brother who's in jail, and he calls from the jail phone, raps from the jail phone. I didn't really like those skits, to be honest, but I get how he's putting the story together with his brother being in jail. But I don't feel like that story was relatable or really like garnered sympathy from the audience the way that, like, you know, your family type songs did in your previous album. And you know what pissed me the fuck off about this fucking album is the Lil Wayne and the Eminem features. Okay, what pissed me off about the Eminem feature is that that was Eminem's fault. That nigga, sometimes he just goes too lyrical and just ruins the flow of the whole song. When that Parable song came out originally, I liked the song. I was hoping his album would sound more like that. That was a time when I felt like he went on those hard beats and he did kind of all right. But I still felt like he was lacking something. But at the same time, I liked the direction. Eminem just made it so it's like I couldn't even bob my head to it. And I'm an Eminem fan. I'm not one of these people who's like a big Eminem hater. But that, I didn't like that. I didn't like that feature. I feel like he ruined the flow of it. He needs to flow a little bit more and keep the bars in there too. But the Lil Wayne feature, oh my gosh, I didn't like that. The reason why I didn't like that is because I felt like it wasn't bad at all, but you could have gotten Lil Wayne on a better song, bro. I listened to an interview with him telling us about how he even got Lil Wayne on the song, and he's like, he talked to Lil Wayne and he said, yeah, hit me up if you need a feature. And Lil Wayne basically promised the nigga a free feature or whatever. And he said, I was listening to the song, I'm like, I think Lil Wayne would sound good on this. Think I should send this to Wayne? And I sent it to him and he sent it back the same day. Like, nah, nigga, you should have made a song personally for Lil Wayne, and it should have been your best song you ever made, nigga. Like, I get it, the Hit Boy beat wasn't bad, but I didn't really like it. Like, I'm just because it's made by Hit Boy, I'm not gonna act like it's a hit. That beat was all right, and like just for like the song was all right, but that's all it was. It was all right. Lil Wayne outshined you by light years, but I don't even mind that. You should have just came with a better song that you could have at least created a hit out of somewhat, because the album, like, to kind of wrap up my whole entire points, the album is boring, kinda, because I do like the album, but it lacks replay value. I understand why somebody wouldn't like the album. It lacks replay value because I really had to try, as a Cordae fan, I had to try and put my fan ears on to really try and pay attention and listen to the album. There's nothing that I could hear for, like, if for people who do listen to albums like their playlist and they have to take songs from this album and just add it to their playlist, there's nothing really to take. There's no songs that are like amazing like that. Chronicles maybe, but like a lot of it is like, I don't know, man. The thing is, I see potential, but I see a lack of originality. And that's the problem. There's a lack of something that it doesn't really feel authentic, because like he doesn't garner a lot of attention with his look. And it doesn't seem like he's on his way to getting a cult fan base like a Playboy Cardi or anything like that. And that brings me back to the original question. Is this it for Cordae? And I think it might be. And that's on him. That's on him if he doesn't grow. He needs to learn how to grow and adapt in this industry, or he'll just be capped. He'll be capped at, I'll say, 30K. And that'll be his maximum potential that he'll ever sell. And he'll be a certain artist that we're all going to look at in a certain box unless he proves us otherwise. My advice for him is to learn how to make a hit. And he also needs to hop on more features, and he needs to like really kill that shit to really show himself and prove himself among the lyricists as well. Because I think that he's a good lyricist and he could rap and whatever, but I don't think he's the best. I don't think that he's like on the level of Joyner Lucas or JID or Reason or artists like that. So what he needs to do is really focus on garnering his fan base and like get his bread and butter where it matters. And you could be lyrical, but you could be also like Big Sean or Lil Wayne or Drake, Meek Mill. Like you could attack the beat and use your energy in a different way. But will Cordae grow? I don't know. How about you leave a like and a comment below? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe too, and I'll be back again next time. Peace.